Hey everyone, my name is Zeppelin. I've been playing this game now for a while. I think it's going on, on 10 or 11 months. But anyway, I was lucky enough recently here to pull one of the new Light Legendary heroes, Zoltan, and I just wanted to show him to you guys because I don't think a whole lot of people have him out there, and if you did pull him, there's probably not a guide. So this is kind of just my take on him because I really didn't have anything to go off of either. But this is my approach on the best way to build him. So first, let's just go over his abilities here, and then we'll get into my build. So he has this trait called Thunderblade, where he gets a certain boost based on the amount of enemies alive that your opponent has, and then another boost based on how many of your allies have actually died. So it's really interesting, his kit, but it actually plays kind of well within the arena meta and basically the RTA meta. He's more of an end game hero, for real-time arena, in my opinion. But anyway, I digress here. So this Enchanted Blade, he gets a really big defense boost at the beginning of the match because your opponent's going to have 4 enemies alive. So he'll get 4 stacks of this Enchanted Blade, which gives him 140% boost to his defense. These stacks, they can't be removed, but they will go down if one of your opponent's heroes dies. So it starts at 4, but as soon as you kill one, it goes down to 3, 2, 1, so on and so forth. These Thundershock stacks, though, you don't get these at the start, but you will get one as soon as one of your allies die, and you can get as many as 3, which is pretty crazy because he's then ignoring 90% of defense and then has a 90% boost to his speed. So, with that being said, I've built him kind of as a bruiser, and I'll explain why here as we go over the rest of his kit, because the rest of his kit kind of complements his trait. So the basic here is he deals 130% damage to one enemy and then gains a shield, and the shield is based on the number of enchanted blades. So the shield is pretty nice at the beginning of the match whenever your opponent has those 4 enemies alive. So it's going to be based on that 140% defense boost stacks. So this is a nice A1 just because you want him to survive. You want him to be the last person alive because if he is, he's then getting those Thundershock stacks, which is going to make even his basic ability hit really hard. And then he has a passive here. I know it says special, but it's kind of like a passive. So anytime he's attacked, anytime anything hits him, he has a 55% chance to counterattack, which deals 120% damage to the attacker, and it steals 2 positive buffs from them. I still don't know if this needs focus or not. I haven't really cared too much, to be honest, because this counterattack just hits really hard whenever he's the last one alive, and you're not even really caring about stealing the effects. But it actually goes up even more based on the number of Thundershocks. I don't know what it is, like the percentage, if he has 3 Thundershock stacks, but I think it's really high, because anytime he's the last one alive, it seems like he's always counterattacking. So that's kind of cool. He has a counterattack built in. And then his ultimate is kind of a mouthful, and I'll try and explain it the best I can here. So it deals 150% damage to your main target, and then it does 60% splash damage, which can be increased to 80% if you get some mastery books in him here from this mastery section. He then gains attack up to and control immunity, so he can't be stunned or taunted for 2 turns. if there are 4 or more stacks of Enchanted Blade and Thundershock combined. So at the beginning, he will be able to get these boosts because he'll come in with those 4 stacks of Enchanted Blade because your opponent will have those 4 enemies alive. Then, if he has 7 stacks, so basically if he's the last one alive and you haven't killed any of your opponent's heroes, he then gets attack up 2, control immunity, and ability immunity. So he's basically immune to anything for 2 turns. Attacks, control abilities, anything like that. And it grants an elemental advantage for this attack. So if you save this ultimate and use it when he's the only one alive, and your opponent still has 4 heroes alive, this thing is going to hit really, really hard. And you're basically going to be unkillable for 2 turns, 2 attacks, which is really, really cool. So the only bummer about this is a couple things. One, this 7 stacks is really hard to do in practice. In theory, it's kind of cool to think about it, and I'll show you ways to get it really easily in normal arena. But in real-time arena, it's not going to really be all that manageable. But still, even the first part here, the attack up 2 and control immunity, is really nice. It is a bummer that it doesn't put it on before he attacks, but it might have been a little too strong. Anyway, so that's his kit. Now, the way I built him, I actually put him in Dragon Scale. You'd be surprised at how little damage people are doing to this guy because, one, of this gear. Anytime he takes a critical strike damage, it does 30% less. So that's a pretty big damage mitigation. And then I have these broken sets on here because the pieces are just really good. And I'm still missing 2 of the books here, one of which is this True Strike rate, which would be a really big help with helping me gear him. But it is what it is. So to see his stats here, what I've done is I've tried to build him with decent enough damage stats and okay survivability, high defense because it's his Enchanted Blades defense boost stacks scales off of this stat, so I wanted to get that fairly high. And then on top of that, I really wanted his resistance high because if he is controlled by some kind of stun or anything like that, then he basically becomes useless. So anyway, this resistance ideally would be higher, and then maybe the defense and critical damage would be a little higher once this critical rate can come down from getting that additional True Strike percentage book mastery done. But that's kind of how I have him built. He is built with the mindset of being the last person alive on my team, and I'll showcase that right now in an actual arena match. It's going to be pretty funny. So let's go into arena here. And I'd like to do this one. Let's see if it actually works. Because he might die, but we'll see. So I'm going to show you what happens here. Oh, sorry. I'm going to put in himself and then just a bunch of 1 stars because I want them to die. So he can get more stacks of his Thundershock or whatever it is that allows him to defense pierce. So when we start here, okay, so this team is very, very slow because he's not very fast. He has like 100 and some speed. So right now, you can see here, he has this ×4. And if you click on the info here, you can see that he has that plus 35% defense, but he has 4 stacks of it. So he is at 140%. So some Nathalias can hit really, really hard. Gear and all can hit really, really hard. So because of that, I actually think I need to ultimate just so he doesn't die from Giranol. And you'll see how hard his ult hits without the enchanted blades on there. Oh, sorry, the Thundershock stacks. And then we can show you the comparison whenever my allies are actually alive. So this is his ultimate ability. So as you can see, it really didn't hit that hard, right? So now Nathalia is going to... Okay, so she did about half damage. Now, a Giranol, who usually hits pretty hard... Oh, geez. Okay, this is going so fast. I should slow this down. Whoops. So as you saw there, the Nathalia hit and the Giranol hit took him down to about 3/4, I guess. Maybe 66%. And now he has this ×3 stack of these Thundershocks. So now he's piercing 90% and he has 90% more speed. So even though his ultimate is done, right? It's on cooldown. His basic ability is going to hit really, really hard. And he's going to be counterattacking a lot. So let's see how much damage it does to a Mathasia, because Mathasia usually is pretty tanky and it's hard to kill. So just his basic here. So that was 6,000 through the shield. He's given more damage to Giranol, which barely broke the shield. He's counterattacking for 12,000. Okay, so Nathalia almost killed him. That was another 1,000. Okay. So now we actually have to probably try and kill Nathalia or she's going to kill me. So there's 15. But he gets the shield. So now he's kind of tanky again, just counterattacked again. Oh, Giranol almost killed him. Okay, and then he just counterattacks. I think once he gets those enchanted blades, he just does a counterattack on every hit. Yep, counterattack. So that was kind of just a little showcase on, his ultimate without having people dead, right? So there was no elemental advantage on his ultimate. So it didn't hit that hard, right? So that's why you really want to build him just as a bruiser, because the ultimate is really only worth it whenever he has the ability to use it when he has 7 stacks. So this is a pretty tanky team. There is a Shark Soul Andre, which is one of the most broken characters in this game. Hopefully they go first. I don't know if they will, but either way, we're going to save the ultimate until all of my heroes are dead. Okay, nice. Oh, actually, this is a really bad example. And this is kind of like one of those little bugs within this game. But if if your allies die by something other than like an attack, he doesn't get the stacks, which is really weird. So, I mean, he's gonna die here because he doesn't get strong. So I'm just gonna quit this match. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of dumb. I don't know why they do that. Another thing that happens here is when Corrupt Orak does his at beginning of turn hit. That's another thing that for some reason doesn't trigger his enchanted blades. Okay, but this should work unless they have the that damage spell. But Halia should kill all of these people, and then he'll get those stacks, and then you'll see how much his ultimate does. Okay, so he resisted the stun, which was really good. Okay, so as you see here, Garnet is usually pretty fast, but as soon as my allies died, even though he had the negative speed, he got 90% boost. He got a 90% boost to his speed. So his speed was like, I think 172 or something like that, times 90. Oh, whoops. One extra zero. 172 times 90. Yeah, he got an additional 154 speed. So yeah, he's pretty fast. So anyway, now his ultimate is going to give him this attack up 2, control immunity, and he'll have the ability immunity, and this is going to do elemental advantage. So this is going to hit really, really hard, even without the defense up spell. So that's what that looks like. The splash damage is something that you got to look out for, but as you can see here, now as well, he has the 2 ability immunity, so that did absolutely nothing, canceled it out, and now we're just going to counterattack the whole time. He puts up his big shield, Garnet's going to go, counterattack, Jocasta's going to go, Holly is going to go, counterattack, get the invincible off, and then we'll counterattack. 14,000 damage, that's pretty good. It's not amazing. 16,000 on a basic. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, hard to kill. If he's the last alive, he's going to do a lot of damage. So, the thing is, like, by himself, you need to pair him with other threats in your team, right? So I can't just have all these little weenies here, but I can't go tank either. Like if I went with a tank team, with him, maybe Nero isn't the best choice or whatever, because Nero's kind of a threat. But then I also bring in like a Hakron. All my opponent would have to do is use Divine Yolanda to kill him, and then like my team's like he was useless. So the way that I think is best to run him is to bring in just a bunch of different threats, right? You need to have someone really quick, that your opponent will want to kill, because if they don't, then, they're going to die. So it's a really interesting conundrum for your opponent to be in, because they know that Zoltan is going to get stronger if he's left alive, but at the same time, while he's alive, he's not a threat, and the other heroes are. So it's a really cool character, in my opinion, built that way, which is really funny because I thought he was absolutely terrible when I first read him, but then the more I thought about it, it's just a cool design. So props to Ace on that. Yeah. So this is just my little showcase. This is my first video, so if I did something that wasn't interesting, or you didn't like this style of video or whatever, if I can make things better, just let me know. I just want to bring it to you guys and show you, because I thought he was kind of a cool character, and I figured people might like to see how I built him or how he plays. So anyway, thanks for watching.